guys, it's Kai. From a small army of personnel to owning private aircrafts, here are 10 crazy expensive things that billionaires spend their money on. Number 10, enormous house. There's something that a lot of wealthy people are truly guilty of, and I have to admit that at first glance, it looks like a reasonable purchase. But if you take into consideration all of the traveling wealthy people do, you would think it would probably be empty most of the time. No one really needs a 25,000 square foot house with 5 elevators, 15 bathrooms, and 1 million rooms. I mean, sounds great, but think about cleaning up after that party. You are going to need some staff. You can't leave a house like this empty while you're gone. You will require a little army of cleaners and gardeners to keep everything ready for you for your eventual return home, and no one likes to work for free. Of course, if you have a house like this, you wouldn't care about spending some extra money. But if you ask anyone dealing with finances, they will tell you that an asset like this is basically a giant money pit. Don't forget that you would have to maintain it, and there will be something special waiting for you at the end of the financial year. Property tax. Number 9, multiple real estate properties. Some people like to have a place that they can call home everywhere they go. And if your pockets are way deeper than usual, you might be tempted to start buying houses all over the place. I have to admit, it would be nice to have your own place in the location that you're visiting. But again, what happens if you travel a lot? You go to another place and buy another house, and then another place followed by another house. If you keep going on like this, sooner or later, you will end up with your own personal real estate portfolio that you could wave in front of your friends while claiming that these are merely investments into the real estate business that at one point or another are going to make you a lot of money. The whole shebang goes against the first principle of finance. That seems logical, and I have just come up with it. If you invest money into something that does not work for you, generating your revenue, you have acquired not an asset, but a liability. Sometimes, taking time to think things over before you actually make a purchase can save you a lot of money in the long run. I'm not saying don't buy anything. All I'm saying is a pinch of moderation from time to time can make your personal banker and accountant the happiest people on earth. Number 8, private islands. Can you imagine owning your own private island? It might be great to be able to tell your friends that you own one, but this is just a show-off purchase, and it can definitely not be a practical way to spend your cash. To even buy an island, you must invest millions, and building on some of them might be a financial nightmare. If your plan is to convert it into an exotic tourist attraction, that might actually be profitable, but just buying one for yourself might not be the best financial decision in the history of financial decisions. Most people that have the kind of money to buy themselves an island don't have much free time. They are working around the clock and traveling all over the place, and they wouldn't have much free time to spare. Picture them like a child with bags and bags of toys. In the beginning, they will play with them, and then later down the line, one by one, they just start to forget about them. Which begs the question, why did the kid waste so much money on toys in the first place if he didn't intend to keep playing with all of them? Guess we'll never know. And now for number 7. But first, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss out on more videos like these. Number 7, art and jewelry just for the sake of it. Sometimes buying jewelry can be considered an investment. Some items keep their value in the long run, while others simply retain theirs. It's a mistake to think that every piece of jewelry that you own will make you money in the near future. Some rich people will buy almost whatever they see just to be able to brag about it. Must be nice. If your goal is financial gain, then the least you can do is take some time and do research to find out if your jewelry has the potential to be sold for profit over time. Don't get me wrong, it's okay to buy things that you like, and if they enrich your life, it's even better. But buying expensive things just for the sake of it and expecting a return is a rookie mistake. You wouldn't want to buy a brand new car and expect to sell it for the same or a larger amount after several years of usage, right? It is better off to buy a classic car, and even then you must research the market to find out which one has financial potential and which one does not. Dealing with jewelry and art is the same thing. Get informed, make the right choice, and you are almost guaranteed to make some money when you do decide to sell it. Rushing into things is never a good idea, especially with expensive things like the aforementioned. Number 6, tons of expensive vehicles for the family. While a fun purchase like an expensive car can be a fun way to indulge in achieving a certain level of success, it becomes a stupid purchase when you start buying expensive car parks for you and your young children, especially the ones that can't even drive yet. You don't need so many cars, nor do your children need so many expensive things in their lives. There's no lesson for them about the value of money. All they learn is that buying a lot looks good when it's not, and they don't even have to work hard, which makes them needy and lazy kids. It might be a million times better to let them earn the money for their car by actually working for it. Give them a regular job so they can see how regular people live, and that might open their eyes to what they actually have and be happy with it. Imagine driving a rust bucket that you have worked your butt off to buy, and you pass by places that now you won't be able to visit anymore. Long story short, a person starts to appreciate a thing no sooner than the moment that he loses it, which is kind of sad, but that's the way the world works. Buying fleets of expensive cars will get you an adrenaline rush. It will make you happy for a while, but as soon as the rush is gone, what you're left with is a really terrible financial decision. Be smart, think your way through cutting down the expenses. Number 5, staff and personal chefs. Those who have disposable income that goes in the millions and buy big houses later down the road realize they do not have the time or the will to take care of the daily maintenance task that comes with owning properties like these. So they hire staff to do it for them. They may also feel that they no longer have the time to cook, so they bring a personal chef. Is it these other purchases and the idea that they have the right to make others care for them is what makes them lose so much money for basically surrounding themselves with people to do what they can actually do on their own? In fact, rich people can also enjoy these things and find personal satisfaction in doing them. That is something money simply cannot buy. If you constantly have people doing the things for you that you can do for yourself, at one point you will become lazy and bored out of your mind while having everything a person can ask for. I don't doubt the fact that having a personal chef or a cleaning crew will make your life easier, but sometimes doing things yourself might actually make you happier. Imagine the amount of staff that all the properties you own require. Now consider how much time you spend on a property. You can see where all of this is going. A situation in which you're flushing money down the drain. Number 4, yachts and boats. This is the biggest symbol of social status that I can think of. It's stuff that dreams are made of. Who wouldn't want to own a boat and throw parties like crazy while traveling to exotic destinations? We have all seen the movies showing us the glamorous life of the yacht owners. Let's be frank, not everyone can afford to have one, but you can bet that everyone wants one. To own a yacht is not a cheap thing. First, you have to buy it. And then you will have to get a crew because, let's face it, you won't be able to run things for yourself. And don't get me started about the cost of operating a thing like that. Can you imagine how much fuel and maintenance that would cost? It's a crazy number, I'll tell you that. In my opinion, the only good reason for owning a yacht is if you are really into sailing and passionate about the open seas. Otherwise, consider how many times you will use it in a year and you will get what I'm getting at. The funny thing is, once you own it, the amount of money it demands doesn't slow down. Even if you decide to park it and not use it, you would still have to pay for its storage. Imagine the whole situation like having a deep dark hole in your living room with a voice coming from it that says, more, all the time. What would you do? Keep throwing money at it and hope that it will just shut up, or just get rid of it and solve your problem? Your call. Number 3, plastic surgery. Celebrities are showing us every day how silly and ineffective plastic surgery can be in their vain and insecure attempts to look younger and more attractive. Losing money in plastic surgery can slow down the process of aging, but it will not prevent it from happening. Nor will it make you look much better. In some cases, you might end up looking even worse. A tasteful touch here and there is way better than trying to shave 20 years off your face. We have all seen rich people and celebrities with stretched faces. My opinion is that you shouldn't go overboard with the plastic surgery. Just because you can mess up your face doesn't mean that you should, because at one point you might end up looking like some kind of young lizard. Wrinkle-free is enough to be considered younger, but strange-looking enough to be at the center of attention in a bad way. Plastic surgery is not cheap, and if it becomes your hobby, it will quickly burn a hole in your pocket. Or your face? We've all seen where these surgeries go completely wrong. A more effective approach that doesn't cost money at all is to exercise and eat healthy. Number 2, private aircrafts. Like a yacht, anything that flies is really unnecessary unless you have a special place in your heart for the miracle of flying. If for you, the whole point of an airplane is to take you from point A to point B whenever you want, I consider it being a risky idea. Think about the carbon footprint also. This is because you also spend money on storage and maintenance when you could actually use a jet or helicopter service when you really need to use them. On the other hand, there's always the option to use the commercial airlines, and if you see the budget airlines as a no-go option, why don't you get yourself a first-class ticket? Of course, if owning a private aircraft will be the difference between winning and losing millions due to you not being able to get to a meeting on time, be my guest, buy one as soon as you can. The majority of the time, this is not the case. Some people buy aircrafts because their friends own one and they don't want to be left out trend-wise. Consider the pros and cons, and if the former outweigh the latter, then you already know what to do. Owning things for the sake of owning them might ruin you financially. Come to think of it, if you are considering whether to buy or not buy a jet, for example, you might not be that worried about the financial state of things. Making smart purchases never goes out of style. Try to stay stylish, okay? Number 1. Premium club memberships. It's a good idea to join a social club, but many of them come with the most exuberant annual rates just to be a part of something that is considered exceptional. In return, you don't really get that much other than the idea that you can show others you're an elite member. In conclusion, private clubs are a great status symbol, but one that comes with a hefty price that sooner or later may start to weigh you down. Because of a busy life, most of the members may not even be able to use the private club as often. The whole idea of being in a club is to be part of a group of like-minded people that share your interest so you can discuss ideas and enrich yourself. Being part of a club just for the sake of it will not direct any kinds of benefits your way, except the bragging rights, of course. If you buy yourself a membership card for a local gym and you don't actually go there and work out, you should not expect to get ripped just because you own a piece of plastic that says you're a member. A piece of good advice is to not invest in anything you are not planning on using. Being an elite member sure does sound cool, but other than that, it wins you nothing. Let's not forget about all the fees and charges that come with being a member of premium clubs. Even if you don't attend the meetings, you will still have to part with a good amount of your money. Thanks for watching. Which of these do you believe is the most useless of them all? Can you think of something that we missed on the list that rich people love to spend money on? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and I'll see you next time. Bye.